Hello children, my name is Abhishek and today I'm going to share with you the story of Biplob the bumblebee. Biplob the bumblebee is the world's first eco-warrior superhero. You know what eco-warrior superhero means? An eco-warrior is someone who, whatever they do, he or she will always make sure that the environment or nature is not harmed in any way. And Biplob is one such superhero. So let's quickly pull up the story on the screen. Just give me a moment. Here we go. So you can see this little fellow here playing in the water. That's Biplob the bumblebee. And this here is Farmer Balram, who is his best friend. Now Biplob lives on Farmer Balram's farm, and all the flowers and the other animals on the farm are his friends. And in every story, Biplob comes up with some idea which is very eco-friendly and natural to help his friends in some way or the other. Now one day, it was raining very heavily on the farm and Biplob was relaxing under a tree. Can you see him here? Resting on his stomach with his head in his hands and looking at the raindrops falling. And he was thinking to himself that everything looks so beautiful and fresh and clean when it rains. You remember how it looks when it rains? Even if you look outside your windows from your homes or from your school, how everything looks so clean and neat and tidy. And when the raindrops fall on the mud, you have this beautiful aroma, this fragrance that comes from the mud. So that's exactly what Biplob was sitting there and enjoying and thinking to himself how fresh and clean everything looks in the rain. And while Biplob was enjoying his rain, the other flowering plants, which is the sunflower, the violet, the gladioli, the hibiscus, were all also very happy in the rain. Why do you think the plants were feeling happy in the rain? Because plants need a lot of water, and when it rains they get the water that they want, and that's what makes them happy. So as Biplob and his friends were enjoying the rain, he just was sitting there and thinking to himself, I hope it rains for so long that Farmer Balram's well fills up with enough water to last us till next year. We all know it rains during the monsoons, don't we? So from June, July, August, September, for 4 months it rains all over India, and the water that is collected in those 4 months can then be used for the rest of the year till the next rainy season comes. So when it was raining, people was sitting there and hoping that I wish it rains so much that our well completely fills up with water. And then he thought, let me quickly fly across to the well and see how much water is there. And when he reached there, he found Farmer Balram is already standing there and looking at the well. Can you see Farmer Balram's face? He's not looking happy at all. In fact, he's looking very worried. So Biplob looked at him and he asked, Farmer Balram, why do you look so worried? What are you thinking about? Farmer Balram said, Biplob, I'm just thinking that it's raining so heavily this monsoon, but my well has such a small mouth that there's hardly enough water that is gone inside it. And if the well doesn't get filled up, then I'm afraid we will not have enough water for the summers. So Biplob then just looked around him, and can you see what's happening over here? All the rainwater is collected in puddles all around the well, but inside the well, only very little water has gone. And Biplob realized that Farmer Balram was right. He said, it's such a shame. Barely a trickle is making its way into the well, whereas so much water is getting wasted. So Biplob and Farmer Balram both went home that evening, worried and hoping that it rains a lot so that the well gets filled up with water. The next morning, when Biplob woke up and came out, he was still thinking, how can I save all this water that's falling all around the well from flowing away and going waste? And how can I make it come inside the well? And I just want you to remember when it's raining, do you remember even outside your homes, outside your buildings, there's a lot of water that's collected from the rain, isn't it? There are all these puddles which are formed. Same way there were puddles which were formed around the well. There's something interesting that Biplob saw when he came out. He saw that you see this roof over here. This is the roof of his home. All the water that was falling on the roof was flowing along this pipe and coming out and gushing out with great speed from here. Now, do you remember even in your buildings when it's raining heavily, how the water flows out from the pipes? which are on the side of the walls outside the building. Exactly the same way the water was flowing from this pipe. And Biplob had an idea. He quickly flew to Farmer Balram and said, Farmer Balram, why don't we harvest the rainwater? Do you know what harvest means? When fruits and vegetables grow on the tree, the farmers cut them from there and bring them to the market. From there, your mamas and papas buy those fruits and vegetables and bring them home. So this process of cutting the fruits or vegetables from the trees is called harvesting. Do you think it's possible to harvest rainwater? It doesn't make sense, isn't it? That's exactly what Farmer Balram told Biplob. He said, Biplob, don't trouble me. How on earth can you harvest water? I have never heard of anything so strange before. And Farmer Balram was already worried. There was not enough water in his well. On top of it, Biplob is coming up with all these ridiculous, strange sounding, silly ideas. But Biplob didn't listen to Farmer Balram. He said, Farmer Balram, you can harvest rainwater. Look here, all the water that is flowing down from the pipe, what if we connect another pipe to that? And from that, we take all the water inside the well. Farmer Balram said, Biplob, this idea might just work. Because instead of the water flowing away everywhere and then finally going into the drain and flowing away into the sea, why not we connect pipes and take all that water into the well? So Farmer Balram quickly rushed to the market and came back with lots of pipes and a lot of other connectors. And see, here's what he did. He dug up these little channels next to his well and made this little hole at the bottom. And then he put pipes all over that place so that all the rainwater that was falling outside the well and going waste would now flow into the well because of the pipes. And the minute he connected all of this, he was so excited to see that the water is now filling up the well very, very quickly. So Balram was very happy and the flowers were very happy, and Farmer Balram said, such a wonderful idea, Biplob. We are not only harvesting rainwater, but we are also saving water. And we can now use these water in the fields and the garden for a long time, and the flowers will never ever go thirsty. So children, we all know it's very important to not waste water and to save water, isn't it? Now imagine every year when it rains, there is so much water that just flows away into the gutters. What if we could save all this water? Just like how Biplob came up with the idea of connecting these pipes into a well, we can all have a tank made in our buildings and in our societies, and we can collect the rainwater in those tanks. Can you imagine if all of us do it, how much water we can save? Isn't rainwater harvesting such a splendid idea? So once again, Biplob came up with an awesome, eco-friendly, natural way for them to not just save water, but also to make sure that the plants and the flowers would never ever go thirsty because they had rainwater harvesting. So I hope you enjoyed these stories. And there are a lot more such stories in Biplob's book. It's called The Adventures of Biplob the Bumblebee. It's also available on Amazon. And until next time, when we come back with another story narration for you, have fun and think about saving rainwater. Thank you very much.